my name is Cece, and today I will read you for Black Beauty. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. My early home. The first place that I can well remember was a large pleasant meadow with a pond of clear water in it. Some shady trees leaned over it, and rush and water lilies grew at the deep end over the hedge on one side. We looked into a plowed field, and on the other we looked over a gate at our master's house, which stood by the roadside. At the top of the meadow was a plantation of fir trees, and at the bottom a running brook overhung a steep bank. As soon as I was old enough to eat grass, my mother used to go out to work in the daytime and come back in the evening. There were 6 young colts in the meadow beside me. They were older than I was. Some were nearly as large as grown-up horses. I used to run with them. I had great fun. We used to gallop all together round and round the field as hard as we could go. Sometimes we had rather rough play, for they would frequently beat a kick as well as gallop. One day, when there was a good deal of kicking, my mother went by the compere, and then she said, "I wish you to pay attention to what I am going to say to you. The colts who live here are very good colts, but they're cart horses colts, and of course, they have born. Your father has a great name in this part, and cat faces. This is very good, or kick even in play." I have never forgotten my mother's advice. I knew she was a wise old horse, and our master thought a great deal of her. Her name was Duchess, but he often called her Pat. Chapter 2. The Hunt. Before I was 2 years old, a circumstance happened which I have never forgotten. It was early in spring. There had been a little frost in the night, and a light mist. Other colts were feeding at the lower parts of the field, when we heard quiet in the distance what sounded like the cry of dogs. The oldest of the colts raised his head and pricked his ears and said, "There are the hounds!" and immediately cantered up the floor to the rest of us to the upper of the field, where we could look over the hedges and see up the field. The oldest of the colts raised his head and picked him in the chapter. So they had found a hart, so my mother, "And if they come this way, we shall see the hunt." And soon the dogs were all touring down the fields of yon wheat next to ours. I never heard such a noise as they made. They did no bark nor house. At the top of their voice, they say, "Yo, yo, oh, oh, yo, yo, oh, oh." At the top their voices like that. After them came a number of men on a horseback, some of them missing a green coat. So I am more faster. Old horse snorted and looked eagerly after them, and we young colts snow. What hare? Likely enough, it may be one of our own hares of the plantation. Any hare they can find will do for the frogs and men to run after, and before long the dogs begin there again, and back they come all together at full speed, making straight for our meadow at the part where the high blank and hedge overhang the brook. Now we shall see the hare, said my mother, and just then a hare, wild with frightened rushes by the made up for the plantation. On came the dogs they heard over the bank, leaped the stream, and came dashing across the field, followed for the huntsman. Chapter 3. My breaking in. I was now beginning to grow handsome. My coat had grown fine and soft, and was bright black. I had one white foot, and a pretty white star on my forehead. I was thought very handsome. My master would not sell me till I was 4 years old. He said laid out not to work like men, and coats ouch, not to work like horses till they were quite grown up. When I was 4 years old, Squire Gordon came to look at me. He examined my eyes, my mouth, and my legs. He felt them all down, and then I had to walk and strut the gallop before him. He seemed to like me, and said, when he has been well broken in, he will do very well. My master said he would break me in himself, as he should not like me to frighten unhurt, and he lost no time with them, and he's already beginning to die. Sitting quietly near the plows, which separates the meadow of the railway, when I heard a strange sound at a distance. Anna Sewell, think, they spoil more horses than all just for want of sense. They don't mean it, but they do it for all that. I hope you will fall into good hands. But a horse never knows who may buy him or who may drive him. It is all is, and keep up your good name. Chapter 4. Birtwick Park. At this time I used to stand in the table, and my coat was brushed every day. Still, it shone look like a rook when it was really in May. Chapter 5. A fair start. The name of the coachman was John Manley. He had a wife and one little child, and they lived in the coachman's cottage, very near the stable. The next morning, he took me into the yard and gave me a good grooming, and I dressed as I was going into my box. With my coat soft and bright, the squire came in to look at me and seemed pleased. John, he said, I meant to have tried the new horse in morning, but I have other business. You may as well take him around after breakfast, go by the common and the highwood, and back by the watermill and the river. That will show his place. Ho, ho, my boy, he said as he pulled up, and I am very scared of him because I've never seen him.